with you. A powerful download combined with many things. Me purges going on. Me tapping into a book that's called Hermetic Garage by Mobius, who was a guy who in the past had a psychedelic or lucid experience that required him to manifest a certain download. So writing storylines, I believe, is, as long as we don't have telepathy, we use words. In the best way, we are able to communicate with that in the most divine way and constructive way, helping each other to figure out why we're here, when we are here, how we are, where are the aspects are, and what is the makeup of what is that makes you. So hopefully you can follow me. This is pure, undiluted, uncut, real, raw to the core. YouTube showing that I'm not going to edit the video. I'm unprepared. I worked on my second mixtape, which I want you to listen to. You hear the intelligence behind the mix and the blend of words and things and metaphors and musical wave patterns, all modulated in 432, mind you, to get certain codes active in you, to activate you, to structure that. And while I'm going through that, editing and mixing, I had this brainstorm looking at this picture here, where you can see the light body and the shadow body. And they actually, the game plan is in this game that this merges and finds the oneness, but there sits a wizard who keeps the hemispheres split. Understand? The hemispheres represent your brain. And I want to, the guy channeled a game plan for what you have to play when you're in these hermetic places. Like, dimensions are hermetically sealed, but if you know about hermetic knowledge, you can find out where the dragon bites his tail. That's actually where the exit is to the other worlds, equivalent to free energy. The dragon bites his tail, meaning that once you have the force and the leading part of the force that begins to chase itself, you're free, you have free energy, everything will change, everything that you ever thought of. So understand, illusions have certain impressions, Fire is an illusion until it burns your skin and it becomes dangerous for your body, and at some point your body wants to switch dimensions because you can't no longer, according to their game plan, handle the existence in that dimension. So let's get into what the divine program masters have created to actually get busy in this game. You are very powerful beings. You're angelic. You're even more than angelic. You gotta go beyond that. You're planetary, which is what you need as a guideline to know where you're coming from. But you're more than planetary, you're multidimensional, you're ultradimensional, you're interdimensional. You just have to allow yourself to remember that you're that. So it's beyond esoteric, starseed, Ra, Isis. These are collectives and stuff that we connected to. Could be Napoleon for all I care, could be Caesar Bonaparte for all I care. That's all important. Get the essential knowledge that is needed to turn your circuitry back on and get your brain into oneness. So let's break down the game plan and then into the download that I had, that I wish to share. So the number game that is created in the universe, I'm not getting into all, every sentence and metaphor can go into another universe, so I'm gonna keep it like in one garage, okay? So the source created number codes, as in interdimensional dice, to prevent random from ever happening. So nothing in the universe that happens, the first rule, is random. Random is an illusion. Random is fiction. Random is what the logic mind makes random because it can't compute the fact that extremes have to eventually meet to create synergetically another energy. Meaning 1 + 1 is not 2. In a synergetic aspect speaking, 1 + 1 is 3. Meaning one energy form meeting a second energy form creates a third energy waveform. Okay? That's the Holy Trinity, mind, body, and soul. That is electric, etheric, and magnetic. So the dice that were created are created to let you know that random is fiction. There are many, many plans in that place which you call Hermetic Garage, which is Earth, which is one model. There are many, many craft world models in other worlds where that has a similar game structure on different conscious evolutionary levels and stages. So in this game you have 52 cards, 52 weeks make a year, 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 is your sevenfold being. That is always for when you're humanoid, okay? In this realm of existence as we communicate. You have basic 12 archetypes. You can have alternate more or less archetypes depending on the level of consciousness and to how many archetypes are you connected to and are they in line or not. You're not schizophrenic, you're, I would say, are multiphrenic. So you're a multi-layered and multi-leveled character profile running system that runs conscious evolution through its own body. And when you have them aligned, as we constantly shift, the divine plan for you is the divine will, not the free will, like I can do what I want to do and I don't care if I make a move that's parasitic to the next player, because that's actually against the law. You're not supposed to be doing that. And I hate pointing fingers, because you point your finger, 3-point in your direction, and heaven is listening. So let's just put it out there without any gestures, is there are certain moves that are not allowed, but for that, which is not an allowance, there's an adhesive contract that will put you on a platform where you have to actually face the consequence for the move that you're making. So the game plan is, or the goal of the game is, that you are a character. So let's say I'm the character Ra, so it's you create that character, which is a figure like on a chessboard. You need that to define yourself, to make your moves, in order to know how you move in dimensions. The checkerboard always shows up in when Alice in Wonderland goes to Wonderland. What do you see? You see a checkerboard. That's actually the corridor of black and white, the duat that you have to walk through yourself. You're walking through your own consciousness. But you need a projection in order to reflect that inward. That's why we have mirror neurons. Everything it's so connected, it's not even funny. And I feel like I'm on shrooms or something, but I'm just high on life and I can see it for myself sitting here. So the game plan for you as an individual on this planet Earth, Asgard has the 9 realms. The lowest realm is Earth. Okay, again, it's the nine evolutionary stages to be born mentally. 9 physical months for life to be born on Earth. Very interesting. Every player in the game has a plan how to play the game, embedded in his consciousness and his DNA, junk DNA, gray matter, everything that we have no instruments to measure, it's already there. There's a set. Astrology helps you a little bit with the game settings, meaning you come in with this player, with this ability, this inheritance from your ancestors through that lineage, which you don't apparently all know. That has to do with the access to total recall. That depends on what gamer level, in a game you have certain levels. I'm wizard level 700, or I'm magi level I don't know what. How are you coming in? And even if you're coming in with a very high priesthood level, let's say, priest XYZ, that doesn't mean that you are that powerful, because the power comes in, do you essentially really understand the frequency of the pattern that is embedded within you to activate and release these powers, so you can divinely adjust yourself and then utilize these skills as endowment talents, knowingness that's within you, and purposefully doing the job that you need to do in order for the inner gates to open within you. Because knowledge only opens for those who study and understand that they're the student. The lazy one will not attain knowledge. The gold that the Mayas protected were not the golds that the immigrants came to chase, like El Dorado, the Golden City. The actual gold is when you watch Indiana Jones' Reign of the Crystal Skull. The actual goal of you is to embody the information that the sun transmits to you and be the living embodiment of the sun source, knowledge, knowing the ledge, knowing the edge of existence, knowing how to tap in and out. So here is the thing in the Hermetic system that you're in, as in the garage we call Earth. All the other dimensions are interwoven and interlinked with that garage, but they are embedded within you. So it's for you to find out where the connection is, the in and out, and when that is, and to be consciously aware and bring that back, because that releases the veil that you carry inside. No plan that a player carries is forever complete. The plan begins to complete as you meet other players and beginning to exchange what's divinely purposeful and what's not divinely purposeful. For you to step out of the emotional, let's say, disturbance and perturbance, to evaluate for yourself, this is the right choice, this feels good, this doesn't feel so good. Where you become sensitive to the interdimensional divine game plan of the morals of your higher self. When you're in tune with that, you will speak that, you will become that, you will act as such, and you will make no mistake. And you won't repeat yourself because you're not looping. If you're repeating yourself, you're looping, and looping is actually cosmically insanity. If you're doing the same thing over and over, like we had experienced, it's beyond, the little things I want to explain that I experience. If you steal, you lie deliberately to your people, and I'm saying don't even blame it on government and XYZ, all of the external sources. This is all illusion to distract you from going within. You have to, at times, dislaunch from the net, get out of the web, because the web has a response to you responding to it. So sometimes, time out. All the electronics, all the stuff that's bombarding you, cut it and sit with yourself and sit for an hour or sit for two and look at what's running you and listen to yourself really crystal clear what is being communicated. And then a lot of stuff is being released that's better than any book right now. I can't even get into books. I read one page and all of a sudden millions of things and aspects are being released for me to explain themselves. So let me go to explain the game further. The game says it is not allowed that a player commences moves in the game plan that is disturbing to the other player while he explores this universe of his perception or her perception. Should you not listen to the divine law and still act on a parasitic behavior that will disturb the exploration and experience that the other player is making, then it is by choice to mutually not agree with that player, which eliminates the player on that game field, not as in killing, but you extract that out of your reality and take it out of the experience because it is non-essential, and it only makes the game longer and prolong the experience, which is if it takes too long and you don't have the endurance of a camel, you have certain mechanisms in you that will at some point will tell you, well, you've been through this a couple of times, you remember this, or you've been in a hurtful relationship, you've been in an abusive relationship, or this is a relationship number 4. Are you understanding that now? Are you getting it? Then it makes click, and then you stop. You change your behavioral structure. Some people sometimes have a psychosis, or you hurt yourself, which doesn't necessarily have to be. We all set these things up to jolt ourselves to come into gear and come into process what's needed. We're not here to tell anybody how to convert. I'm not here to convert you or anybody or say follow me. We are here to communicate to each other, to trigger certain memory banks that make sense within us, so we can say I'm in resonance with what he's saying without having to have to do the following. And I can go to the next person and relay my perspective and perception of what is being relayed to me, to release others from the puzzle and the game plan. So each one teach one. I'm your teacher, you're my teacher. I'm your student, you're my student, and it goes ping pong all the time. I would even say most of the time I'm a student. I think I found something, again, I'm humbled, I have to sit down and I got to listen to what's actually being communicated. So, as the game continues, it actually says you're not allowed to disturb the other player's moves in a parasitic way. If you do that, you'll be eliminated in ways that, well, you will be removed from their reality, so they no longer will co-create with you because they're mutually not in agreement with what you're creating. If parasitic behavior is being created, it will eventually go down the parasitic route until most of the collective that operates from a divine point of view will no longer be around that system and support that, even economically. It will withdraw itself. And it doesn't matter if you make money or whatever title you want to give money. If you're divine and abundant, money is like you can do this with this or that with that, whatever. That's your choice. It's not, money's not the root of all evil. It's the choices that mankind makes with the tools given when abundant. Abundance simply means not being filthy rich or richy rich or I don't know what name. Abundance means having the ability to do when you need to do it. Yes, I said that before. That's not insane. That is to remind you what's possible. What do you see? What do you have now? What are the tools that you can utilize right now in the now where you are without adding to the picture? Facing reality as it is, where it is, how you see it. Nothing more. We need to get out of our imaginary left brain conceptualized spirituality, because that is not spirituality. That is not what we do. We have witnessed people, I don't know, taking money from other people, having a divine, so they think, spiritual concept, over spiritualizing the situation, explaining why they need to reflect on them while they take their money. I think that makes no sense. That's nonsensical. That is an oxymoron like military intelligence or jumbo shrimp. It doesn't make sense. It's like saying black is green or green is white or red is yellow, if you can follow that. So, if you have players around you that consistently act as parasites, you have power cards that has to do with your insights. Here it's called the being with the bow and arrow that will actually shoot a conscious arrow into that situation, shed light, and then eliminate that player. So you can continue your game plan, what you came here to play, enjoy, and fun, most of all. You're not supposed to be in fear. That's an illusion. Being in fear without actually having to face real danger is an illusion. That's fact. So also, and here comes with numbers. If you reach a room with the number 6, 6 is life, carbon, cell structure. You know, we're going from carbon-based to silica to the next level. We're going to C7, okay? So if you reach these rooms with these numbers, so if we are leaving room number 6, we're going to room number 7. Once you reach room number 7, you're a sevenfold being. You become crystalline. And the game says your gift will be a crystal. And the crystal has 4 facets. So let's say the crystal is the crystalline and the Christ all construct of knowing the 4 hemispheres of the brain. Okay? These are the basic brain states: alpha, beta, theta, and gamma or super beta. Well, let me repeat this so I make no mistake, because this is live. I'm not editing this, so I have to really get this correct. Alpha, beta, theta, delta. Delta can also be super beta, super focus, super conscious. These are the 4 facets of that crystal. The Christ all has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. He's us, crystal, meaning crystalline body, Christ all consciousness, silica-based conscious being. Okay? If you find the mechanisms within yourself, you can begin to paint the hermetic garage in other dimensional colors, meaning you're changing reality, you're changing the perception of the reality around you that changes that around you, the perception of others around you. If you lose your points, as in your score on the game board, you gotta go to the beginning and start from the black and white field, 0 and 1. That's same like saying going from single-celled organisms to multi-celled and back, okay? Then, that's for those who think they have suicidal tendencies. It is not allowed to end the game of experience before its natural ending. If you do that and you're giving up, which is a choice, it's a free will, but it's not a divine will. That means you will be going to an angelic evaluation of yourself, which you have set up for yourself, to find out where actually the cosmic insanity lies for you not playing the game plan according to the divine orchestration of it. Should the game loop itself for many, many years without you realizing that you're in it, so you have a chance to exit the game physically without fear, and that is when you reach door number 9. 9 level of consciousness, angelic being, 720 degrees, 360 degrees of not agreeable, 360 degrees of agreeable. If you integrate 360 2 times in your head, it's 720 degrees. That means you are becoming an intergalactic citizen, and your brain comes into oneness, which I will explain in a minute. Let me see, because I'm all over the place trying to make this really make sense. That was with the door number 9. The rules, everything is explained. I want to show you a picture in the game that actually really struck me when it said when you want to, leave worlds or have the key to other worlds. Krista told me that she said that in a book that she found is that a guy that was apparently, so that's my take, in contact with extraterrestrials, said is that the propulsion energy has to do with the dragon has to bite its own tail. I believe that is within us, that we are free energy, but also once you find free energy, you find other worlds. So here's the guy, the character in the game plan, in front of the door to the next world, and what you see here is the dragon that bites its own tail, and it's in form of infinity. And the corridor is like a giant mushroom, actually, and as he enters the corridor, I'm doing this real quick, you see the corridor. The corridor is actually you are between left and right hemisphere, and when you're actually left and right and you're leaving that, this is a doorbell, it's pretty funny, you're actually in another world. You're in a completely different system with different rules, different players, different game plans, which leads me now to the continuing download that I received is the following. Now let's imagine as within, so without. Whatever you see on the outside field is an illusion. It's only a projection of the consciousness that needs that field to experience itself. Don't be mistaken if you break your bones or you hurt your body. These are the raw rules and laws of this dimension, which is the original lore, not the law. Law is artificially and man-made. There is a lore that is a divine law by nature, how this actually operates here, and how this will be restructured coming back to the original divine plan. Namely, you, your heart center, your frequency connecting to the central sun. You're a triple sun being that has to do with, which I call it myself as the Gammatron teachings, which is the fathering circuitry energy of Metatron that governs that and corrects the misuse of that, the misfiring and the miswiring of the falsely used divine matrix of Metatron. And it's basically a correcting energy that adds to the picture. Mind you, Metatron is still divine. It's how it was portrayed and misused made it look weird. as in I have a car, and if I misuse it for speeding and I'm killing people, well, then I'm no longer divine, even though the intention of the divine architect that built the car did not have in mind that I would kill children. It's like me, I am the driver of the vessel, and whatever consciousness came in that misused that basically created a misrepresentation of that which we're here to correct. So I call that the Gammatron key teachings, hence my key, the Gammatron key, which is based on 22 archetypes that you're actually working with. So before I lose the train of thought and the stream of consciousness that I'm in, because that's how these things work. Now imagine that you have earth and you have heaven, and in between they say there's the archonic level, which means there's a few entities that try to prevent us from actually communicating with our brothers and sisters, which is namely ourselves from the future. And they playing trickery and games and wizardry within us, so we wouldn't see what's really out there. And Einstein said that man's greatest foe is not a physical enemy. It's a bacteria. It's invisible. That's what you're not looking for. So let's say somewhere down the line, I don't know, millions, maybe billions of years ago, other planetary systems where we came into humanoid form energetically, we had nanobacterial infiltration. These nanobacteria nobody looks for. Now let's say that these nanobacteria sit between the two hemispheres, the corpus callosum, in the corridor of our consciousness. And let's say our brain used to be a one brain once. Everything used to be a one-celled thing, and our brain somehow split. Maybe it split to protect itself from the nanobacterial influence. I'm taking that idea also from when I had meningitis as a child. The doctor told my mom that the infection is in between my two hemispheres, and that they feared if they would breach that I might die. I survived that, and I survived that by thinking I have to protect the corridor, which kind of dumbed me down. I couldn't fully access my brain. The doctor said, well, your son has frontal lobe activity, but it's hyperactive. He has too much going on. Here's the medication to shut it down to make it. And I saw the MRI as an 11-year-old, and I don't forget anything. I have a brain like an elephant, so I remember that. Make it slower, so everything would be slower, perception would be slower. So it took some time and some years for me to recalibrate my own brain, my own thinking, my own structuring. They say you're dyslexic, you have to do this, you come in with left, and then they make you use right on the line, respect authority, get in line. And I was like, this is a very chaotic situation for me. So when it happens to us kids, they send you to a school shrink and all that stuff. Nobody is crazy. We're all coming online, we're all understanding who we are. So let's say what you have to find out, if your emotions are out of control, that means the nanobacterial system is running a character profile that is non-essential to you. Whether you have created that or the nanobacteria within you mapping your system. Also watch Parasites in Humans, that goes further into detail into that, what that is. Let's say you're emotional, you want to curse at somebody, you want to really go crazy, and you hate somebody. Well, that means you're not running yourself. That means there's a program that is controlled by nanobacterial influence that sit between the two hemispheres that prevents you from actually wiring the left and right hemispheres in a correct manner, because it's playing trickery with your circuitry within you. So the wizardry that you see and some beings that you see, as long as nobody is touching you in physical form and no physical harm is being done, do not believe it. You need to now, forevermore, not even to see that I want to exit Earth and the ships is going to come and pick me up. Do not fall for trickery or suicide or escape routes. It's now time to ground yourself into the vessel. Magic is here. We have ships in physical form. Yes, there are interdimensional forms here, but it is only in the best of our interest when we have stuff here in physical form that we can transmute and understand and touch, and that we have time to explore. That makes it safe, and that is what you need to bring into your consciousness and make sure that you run that Everything else is 95% in the esoteric industry. I'm sorry to say, it's theoretical okie doke. It doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't change anything. I tell people, if you're on the conscious highway of the ascension and your tire is run flat, it doesn't help you to sit in front of your car and pray kumbaya and somebody comes and helps you. At the end of the day is the baseline. You need something in physical form to help you exchange that tire, to get back into your car, to drive the highway of ascension. Same thing I joke about is what happens when the Dalai Lama runs out of toilet paper in the bathroom. Well, he needs somebody to get him some toilet paper. Physical things need physical action. That is the universe that you have chosen. That's why you're here, to make this experience. So don't get it twisted when people give you storylines that you can't fathom. You don't know if you're in resonance with that. If something is in resonance or dissonance, it has to do with your inner circuitry. It always comes back to the inner mind, the inner body, the inner activity. Again, you need to study. You can't come with half-ass, regurgitated, repeated knowledge that you don't embody, where you have no experience. Many people run around and claiming they're Jedis, but they don't even have a lightsaber. But they are talking about as if they could do backflips. I'm not capable of doing backflips because I would hurt my back, and that's called be humble, be real, don't make more than is, be in the now, and connect at that level with these people, because that is how we solve the game plan, how we solve ourselves. And I suggest meditate by not following any idea or any construct anybody has ever given to you. Do what's individually for you, most divinely, purposefully, in harmony with what you want to do. And when you sit there, the answers will come. People will approach you that can assist you, and things will begin to solve themselves. But don't get it twisted. If you have nanobacteria in you, or nanobacterial influence, your mind will play tricks on you. It will try to twist your belief systems, get you in the corners, make you convinced that you need to be upset because you face a certain situation. It's all a lie. Whatever outside takes place that's not directly in your home has in fact nothing to do with you. Yes, we are all one when we act in unison. But when I go to the bathroom, that doesn't mean you have to go to the bathroom at the same time, because you don't know what's and when and how that is in resonance. That might as well be, but we are all one and it's all love. You understand that. Too much 5Ds, you lose your vessel. There's a balance. Same thing as if you do go too alkaline, you get sick. If you do go too acidic, you get sick. There has to be a balance between alkalinity and acidic. Being acidic, as in the battery, has to have an equilibrium to run with the planet and with Earth, divinely and purposefully going in the direction that the body wants you to go to. And I'm sweating while I'm saying this, is really find your purpose, listen to your heart, and be yourself. Go within, go into nature, sit down, turn everything off, do nothing, and just experience yourself as you're breathing, as nature, anything that happens around you. Just be an observer of the self. Be an observer of the cells, and that is what makes you a divine being, and nobody can tell you any different. So you're allowed to assert yourself, and love sometimes says no when things don't have boundaries and get out of control. You're allowed to set your boundaries as a healthy cell structure. A cell has a membrane. The cell does not have to let undivine free radicals in that disturbs the cell, that disturbs creation, that disturbs the DNA and the probing and whatever is being produced. So be in the now, be in the cells, be in the self, and be you without anybody telling you who you need to be. And the answers will unfold like a lotus flower within you, because you are an infinite being. And the story continues. Thank you so much for listening to this download and what I've shared with you. And hopefully it somewhere triggers something in you that makes absolutely and complete sense with you. That'll be my joy. So, and the interesting part is, like, I don't know what's going to happen. So let's see what you will post. And that helps me to reflect again on my consciousness to see how you as aspects of me respond to what I have said to you. Thank you, and you want me to leave? Nah, I'ma stay. Peace.